Hello, and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, the Dreadnought Improvement Project, the great game. And after my my Norwegian campaign, I made a poll on my YouTube channel asking which nation to play as next, and the options were Great Britain, France, the Ottoman Empire, and Russia. And the winner, overwhelmingly and surprisingly, was the Ottoman Empire. So, how do you play the Ottoman Empire in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts? Well, first of all, you're gonna need the Dreadnought Improvement Project mod by Brother Munro. If I remember, I'm gonna leave a link in the description to where to find it and download it and how to install it. But even with that, the mod adds some new playable nations, by the way, including Scandinavia, Netherlands, and Portugal. But even with that mod, you're not going to be playing as the Ottoman Empire. You're going to be playing as the Byzantine Empire. So I went into the player file in the mod folder and changed it to the Ottoman Empire. Also changed the flag. That's just a couple of PNGs in the flag folder. So that's simple enough. But most of the work was going into the ship name file and changing all the Greek ship names into Turkish ship names instead. So that took a little bit. I didn't bother with destroyer and torpedo boat names. I'm just gonna give them numbers because that's what I usually do. But all the cruisers and capital ships should have proper Turkish names now. So with that said, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the Ottoman campaign. It's 1890. The Ottoman Empire is the sick man of Europe. And I think the sick man of Europe needs some sick ships. So we're going to start out by designing the ships, and that will pretty much be the first episode, just ship design, as it usually is. Let's see, what was my shipyard size? It was like 10,000 tons or something. I noticed it was more than when I was playing as Scandinavia or Norway, where the starting shipyard size was very, very limited. Couldn't really do much. Battleship, Suleyman. I cannot build this because the minimum size of that hull is more than my maximum shipyard size. This one looks funky. I can max it out. Maxing out the displacement also increases the resistance and floatability. 42 and 50 at minimum. At maximum, it is 55 and almost 58. How about the small battleship? It's not as tough, and it doesn't look as interesting. This looks like just a smaller version of that. Coastal defense ship. That looks funky. The turret ship as well. But this one had better stats, and I think I can make something equally funky based on this. I don't want to use this because, well, the next one I get will just look identical but bigger. So this one will be more unique. Go 16 knots. None of the main towers are any good, really, but at least they don't weigh much. And I noticed that the hull has a bridge pre-installed that I can't do anything about. The rear towers weigh nothing, so I might as well just go for the best one. Do I have any, like, engine options? Nope. Nope. A little unbalanced, though. Not a lot of options. Early game Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts is, well, you're not gonna be building very good ships. You're just gonna have to try and make them as not bad as possible. Really. So 138 for 11, or 100 for 8. So 4 of these should be about the same weight and funnel capacity as 3 of these. And for the kind of ship it is, 4 just looks better. This bridge structure seems to take up a lot more space than the actual model. I can place the funnel any further forwards. But that's how it is. Compound armor, at least that is... Oh, Citadel. Did not expect to have a Citadel available at the start. 9, 10, 11, 12. The weight difference between 11 and 12, it's not that much. I want to see if I can go 12. Looks like there's a bunch of places to put secondary guns. How about some 6-inchers? The arc of fire is a lot more limited than it looked like. You can put them there, because these boats here are non-removable. That kind of works. How about some, well, the 5-inch guns weigh half as much. I have to have these turrets facing out like that. Guess so. Gonna have a mix of 5 and 6. It's like too... let's just mount them all with the barrels facing outwards. Proper broadside. Like some 4-inchers. These just don't fit here at all. Huh? The 5-inch guns fit. Not even the 3s? They fit. And I noticed that unlike in previous versions or vanilla, when I rotate the turrets, the mirrored turrets are also rotated equally. So I don't have to like manually place them down on either side. That's neat. No options for ammunition. What's my flash fire chance? It's probably bad. 30. If I reduce ammunition... 27. That's still kind of bad. But at least with the range and rate of fire you have in 1890, I don't think I'm going to run out of ammunition. Now for armor, I have found in my my testing that deck hits just don't happen. So I'm not going to bother too much with the deck armor or the citadel deck armor. You're going to get the benefits of the citadel component, no matter how much armor you put on it. So that's that. See, these were 3-inch guns. What's on casemates? Let's add another caliber. Let's make this a logistical nightmare. Speaking of, let's see if I can fit some 2-inch guns somewhere. I cannot. Never mind. These look like they should be fitting further out on these little pontoons or whatever. Sponsons is the word. But the hull was kind of finicky. State armor setting. Plus 28 armor quality. Penetration on these, 5,000, 12.7. But I cannot put that much armor on my ship. Because armor is heavy. I might have to reduce a bunch of stuff here to make this work. I want decent fore and aft belts. I want the conning tower to be, well, 5 inches is apparently the maximum. The turrets I want to have not get blown off. So they need a bit of armor. We are 744 tons overweight. How about I reduce the range? That doesn't do much. If I make it slower. We're closing in. We're getting closer to something. A bunch of different guns. I like it though. It is a properly weird pre-dreadnought. That doesn't actually add that much weight, but I'm still overweight, so it's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna have to keep reducing my armor thicknesses. I might come back in a refit. It's probably gonna get a refit before the first battle is in. So it's not that bad. Light shells. That did some good things to my flashfire channels as well. So that's that. That's the battleship Suleyman. We're gonna save that. And then, oh, I should probably have taken a look at the research tech tree before designing that, and see what kind of technologies I'm close to getting. Because there's been some changes to this as well in the latest version of the mod. Used to be you only had big guns and small guns. Now you got small guns, medium guns, large guns, very large guns, and extremely large guns. So 5 different tech tree branches to focus So small guns is 2 up to 5-inch guns. Mediums are 6 to 8. So 6 as the secondary battery was actually a pretty good idea, because they're going to get up to Mark II first before the 7 and 8s, and probably before the 5s as well. Large guns is 9 up to 12. So it's going to be a while until we get Mark II 12-inch guns on that battleship. Very large is 13, which we have yet to research. And extremely large is 17 and up. So I assume that is 13, 14, 15, and 16 in the very large guns branch. That means 17 is probably going to be a better idea than 16s for the future, because they're going to get marked up first. What else is there? Triple expansion steam engine. That's going to make my engines a little bit lighter. Hull strengthening, that's going to give us a new battleship in 8 months. Armor quality is from plus 25 to plus 50, and that's a pretty big jump, actually. If I can get this and refit my battleships before they see combat, those 10 inches of main belt armor might actually be enough. Take a look at the finances. Yeah, there's all this stuff. Huh. So, build amounts, increasing my shipyard size. If I max it out for 24 months, that's 4,000 tons. I seem to remember in my Norwegian campaign that the first shipyard expansion, maxed out for 24 months, was less than 2,000. Let's make this a 1-year upgrade program. That should bring us to 12,000 and change. Yeah, let's do that. That is not too expensive either. I'm gonna max out the transport capacity, and then we're just gonna slowly increase these as the economy grows. Now let's head back into the shipyard and design some cruisers, because we're gonna need at least armored and light cruisers. Let's see what we got. Armored Cruiser 1. The max armored cruiser limit is 4,000 tons. So this one at this has a base resistance of 37, but at 4,000 tons, since it scales, that's 31. Hybrid light cruiser. At 4,000 is 35.6, so that's actually better than this, even if the base resistance is lower, because I can max out the slider almost. 3-masted armored cruiser. That looks funky though, but I'm nowhere near. I can bring that up to 54 if I max it out, even at minimum, which it will have to be. That's 42. And it's also faster, and it looks kind of funky. Is this gonna be the armored cruiser of the Ottoman Navy? Then there's the turret cruiser. Very low resistance. 20. It's gonna take so much damage. This one has great floatability as well. And then there's this, which does look funky. I might design some of these if they end up being very cheap. But other than looking wonderfully weird, there's not much to like about this. Let's go with this one. Yeah, it's gonna look weird. Like this. Actually, no, better idea, better idea. We're gonna go with this one first. That's gonna be our starting cruiser class. And then, after we've increased the maximum armored cruiser size to 6,000 tons, then we're gonna build this. Okay, the hull doesn't actually grow at 6,000. We're gonna go up to... what's that, 7,000? Yeah. That's when it grows and gets bigger. So it'll just have to wait until then. Might be a couple of years into the campaign. But this one... let's take a couple percent off the beam here. Because it is supposedly a hybrid light cruiser. Making one knot faster than the battleship. This seems to be the best spotting tower. The best stats overall. Although none of the stats are that good. It's 1400 spotting, 1250. Okay. Secondary tower has better spotting than the main tower. Four funnels, plenty of engine efficiency. That gives us pretty good range, even at minimum. Well, it's good for 1890. It looks kind of cool with the four funnels. Barbettes. Could cheese it with this. Let's just no, not side guns. The 9-inch were the first ones to be upgraded to Mark II in the was it large or medium gun tech tree branch? We're gonna go 9. Just for that reason. Gonna be Mark IIs, and they're gonna be a bit better than they are. Standard and standard. Reduced ammunition. I'm gonna go enhanced reloading to make use of those Mark II guns that we're gonna get in the near future. It's the maximum main belt you can put on an armored cruiser. It's 10 inches, but we don't have the displacement for that. 6 is just about possible. Again, not gonna worry too much about the deck armor. I guess the conning tower is also not gonna be very well armored because 1.9 is the absolute maximum I can put on it. So in that case, I think just having it unarmored and hoping for over penetrations might actually be better. Yeah, possibly. The turrets will need some armor though. I'm gonna put some on the top as well, even if the turret top armor will never take a hit. There we go, we're almost... Ah, we need secondary guns. That's right. How about light shells? How much is that gonna reduce? Not that much. Oh, and we're on standard bulkheads. I forgot to max it out. Maybe with a future refit, a better engine. Do I really need 4 funnels on this? Can I make do with 3? I guess I can. A little bit of spacing in between to make them look better. Let's save some weight. I can up the bulkheads now to many, which is still not amazing. Can't put any 5-inch guns on this. 3-inch guns supposedly fit here. Yeah, they do. No, they don't. I'm sure the 2-inch guns do. There we go. Not much, but maybe for like transports and such. Casemates though. We can fit quite a few of these. Too bad they're heavy. They're really heavy, and I haven't even put any armor on them. "36 tons overweight. It's not too bad. Am I gonna min-max this and just not worry about the barbette armor, because that also seems to never take an actual hit? Yeah, we're gonna see about that. Either that will lead to a lot of ships being lost to flash fires, or it actually doesn't matter. We got a few tons left over. We're gonna eat up that in a refit, I guess. And that is our armored cruiser. I'm just gonna take a quick look at the tech tree again. And see what kind of cruiser sizes we're close to getting. Exiting the shipyard actually made my my game freeze. That's weird. Okay, we're 2 months away from getting 3,500 ton light cruisers and 2 new hulls. So that's that. All right. Yeah, 9-inch guns, Mark II, large guns. We're gonna focus that. And we're also gonna focus armor quality, I think. Just to get that kind of early. And gradually bump up the tech budget. Anyway, back to ship design. All right, light cruiser. We got some options here. Light cruiser 1. Belted 3-masted cruiser. Ooh, that is I mean, it looks cool. But it would look cooler at Slightly bigger. How big can you make this? 5,500. That's a long, long boat. But that's for the future, I think. That's a tough one too. 60 resistance. 55 floatability. You can make a tanky light cruiser out of this. This one is on the other end of the scale. With 18 resistance. Gunboat. Or small torpedo cruiser. That is very small though. 1,500 tons. I think we're gonna go with this actually, and because everything else is like very, very fragile. Are we gonna wait with this until let's see, at 3,000 we got almost 50 resistance. At 3,500 we'd get 51. Not a big difference. We're just gonna do this. It's kind of limited by not being bigger than 3,000 tons, but how it is. We can slim it down a bit, bump it back up to 3,000. 21 knots is not much, but it is something. It's more than the other two. Let's keep it at many bulkheads. Just for now. And 1250 is the maximum spotting. I have to put it all the way back down here. Like, none of these towers weigh anything, so there's that. That there. Funnels. These are huge. 79 tons for 6 funnel capacity. Or almost half the weight for 5.5. Okay, you do get some aiming speed, and it does look rather funky. But it's just too heavy for what it does, I think. Like, that would kind of work. Maybe in the future when I can make a longer version of this. I need the space here for main guns. We are gonna need funnels though. We're building a light cruiser. It needs to be able to do cruiser things. Which it currently doesn't do well. Actually. Engine efficiency is very poor. Main guns. 6-inch guns were closest to being Mark II. Is it centered? Yeah, it is. It's gonna have to have another funnel, and even then, range and engine efficiency is very much not good. It's not possible to put these anywhere else? No? No. Couple 3-inch guns as casemates. And as secondaries, I guess. There we go. A little bit overweight. Not very fast, not very anything. And we're not even done yet. Gonna have to go light shells on this too. What kind of armor can we put on it? 6 actually is the maximum main belt, but we do not have the displacement for that. Not even 4. Let's go an armored conning tower and just hope for the best. Same with the barbettes. Oh. And even then, we are overweight. Anywhere to put the twin guns? Built-in barbette things here. I'm kind of not too happy with this. Like, there are a lot of compromises being made here. Maybe too many. I can drop the range down a bit and hope that once I get a better engine in it, that's gonna get ticked up. Because the important bit here is to just get the ships built. 8 million for this. Is that a good bolt for 8 million? I'm not even sure. There we go. I mean, it's a viable design at least. Can be saved. Let's try and go for a different hull and see if we can build anything better. Environmental 3 Master Cruiser. The problem here is that they're all just way too fragile. At least this one is tiny and rather cheap. Let's see if I can save a lot of deck space here for some proper firepower. I can put 7-inch guns on it. That's gonna be pretty punchy. Of course, the problem with the 7-inch guns here, can I put, is that they're gonna be Mark II way later than the 6-inch guns. That's also something to consider. Meanwhile, the 6-inch guns being lighter, and I just assume they're not gonna be, gonna do this with the other barbettes as well. Don't think that's not as tall. I can. It's a broadside of 5 6-inch guns. That's better than what we had on the other one. And it's faster, and it's got better range. Now we're overweight. If I drop down the speed and the range, I might be... Okay, no 3-inch casemates, but can do a lot of 2-inch guns. Even on the funnels. Okay, now it's overweight, of course, but that's a beautiful sight, isn't it? All those 2-inch guns. And only 5 million. Gotta remove these meme guns up there. Let's do the armor first, and then see... like, what else we can do. Flash fire chance is pretty good. I want to do enhanced reloading on this, though. We're at 4 million. We cannot do 6 inches of armor. That is way too heavy. We can do 422. And then just ignore the deck armor. And again, the conning tower... 1.9. I guess for a light cruiser, 1.9 might actually be enough to block some hits. Turret armor is so heavy, especially when I got this many turrets. What else can I do here now to shave off that tiny bit of weight? Yeah, this is going to be fragile. Plus 24 gun damage, plus 22 torpedo damage. And minus 17 for sloped design, so it's going to ricochet less. It's a lot of things that are not good about this design. Bump down the speed again and hope I can increase it with a refit as it gets better engines. Because the whole idea here is to just make something that I can start the campaign with, and then improve. Because if I start building a ship after I get that new engine and the new Mark II guns, it's gonna be maybe a year until it's finished. If I have these from the start and then refit them, that refit is probably only gonna be a month. I have them ready sooner. Now torpedo boats. Just one hull available. Gonna be DB 90. Max size here, 275. Let's decrease the beam by quite a bit first. "25 knots. We're gonna need that speed. I have a need for speed. The front towers are basically the same. It's a 1-ton difference. Main gun, 1. Mainly as an afterthought. I can use this funnel and not have space for anything else. I can do, two of these. 4.5, that is quite terrible. I bump them, like, forwards. A pixel? No? No. Torpedo launchers. They weigh 1.5 tons. What is making you overweight now? There you go. You are now less overweight. 15-inch is the only option. Can I put any armor on this? That doesn't then make any difference. -6 and then back up to 275. 0.5 is the maximum belt thickness. We're just gonna ignore the rest of the armor, I guess. I'm gonna take a little bit of the superstructure and the conning tower. It doesn't make much of a difference. It's 0% armor quality, so maybe I'd be better off without any armor on this. That's a decent little starter torpedo boat. Can I up the bulkheads? I mean, almost. We are within a rounding error. Let's just minimize this dumb gun. It's just there because it has to be there. That's the tiniest gun you've ever seen. 3-kilometer range. Again, it's just there because it has to be there. And put that armor back on now. So that is the TB90. 1.5 million. Not too shabby. Now, let's see what we can build. Hopefully without the game crashing on exiting the shipyard. Well, it did happen again. But I think they are aware of it and trying to fix it. The crashing upon exiting the shipyard thing. Anyway, let's see. How much money do we have? 93 million. That's not really a lot of money. The battleship is almost 33. That's gonna leave me with 60. After building that one. No, 61. I can build a couple of these. The armored cruiser. Let's start by building 2. And these we're gonna put in Constantinople. Gonna be the main port. So what other ports do I need ships in? Tripoli, probably. Put some cruisers here, maybe. And I think, oh, that's 14,000. 17 for Badr Abbas. Tripoli, Badr Abbas. They need some light cruisers and torpedo boats, I guess. And something in the Black Sea. Now, Constantinople is technically in the Black Sea region. So that's fine. For the light cruiser, we had this one and that one. This one is tougher. Both 19 knot top speed. But this one has more 6-inch firepower. Let's build 2 of these. One in Tripoli and one in Badr Abbas. Badr Abbas, and the other one was Tripoli. There we go. Leaves me with 14. So I can build some torpedo boats for that. Start with 8. Leaving me with 2.4. 4 of them are going to Constantinople with the main force. 2 to Tripoli, accompanying that light cruiser, and 2 to Badr Abbas. I got 2.4 million left. And I'm also bleeding money, so we need to reduce that stuff a bit. I cannot afford one of these. Sadly. Darn it. It's 5.2. I don't think it takes long to build, though. Build time, 8 months. Yeah, I can build these in a couple of months. Just kind of spread them out. So that is that. Like so. And for the fleet, we can set them all to limited. Alright, that looks fine. Now let's start the campaign. And let's see if this still works. So the battleship, set to limited, is costing me 860,000 a month. If I set the crew to low crew, it's 259. This is effectively the same as mothballing the ship. But to make it ready for sea control, I just need to move the cruise slider up. It doesn't need a like recommissioning time. There we go. And because the ship name file had no pre-made names for torpedo boats, and I didn't add any, it's just gonna add numbers to the class name like this, which is perfect because that's exactly what I would have done. There. That's the way I like it. Now we can move the sliders up bit by bit. There we go. Just stay in the plus. And we're going to click through a couple of months. Waiting for the economy to grow. Let's first see what our relations are. 0. Neutral with everyone. That's a decent start. I know they are low cruise ships. The passages are being opened. Gonna bump this up. I want to reach 200% before I get into a war with someone. Let's see, hull strengthening is 4 months we get that new battleship, but even when it's ready I will not have the shipyard size to build it, I think. $16 for the Mark II 9-inch guns. Torpedo propulsion, fast torpedoes, 34 months. What about the medium guns? 29 months for the Mark II 6-inch guns. Alright. That's not too bad. And you're not going to see any fighting in this first episode, by the way. I don't think so. I would need to play a little bit off camera to get something started. So we've got that slider maxed out. Now let's take a look at those new cruiser hulls we just unlocked. Semi-armored cruiser. Oh, that's a cool one. And it's not too fragile either. And light cruiser 2. That's just this one. The belted 3-master though is the one we just built. I want to design another class built on this hull in the future, but not before I can get light cruisers up to, like, I don't know, 4.5 to 5,000 tons. Just because you get some more space to work with. And I guess same with this one too. It can be pretty nice when maxed out to 7,000 tons. That even looks good, I think. But limited to 3,500? I'm not so sure. It's a pretty big difference from plus 10 gun damage and plus, okay, it's not a pretty big difference. It's a very minor difference, actually. Yeah, that's a very minor difference. Never mind. I'm just talking out my ass here. Hey, it didn't crash. Anyway, let's see if we get any events popping up. We do. Some of our industrialists wants to invest in the modernization of the Kingdom of the Netherlands shipyards. What's your opinion? Ooh, I get plus naval budget and plus GDP. At the cost of, I only have 2 naval prestige. So, I'm actually not sure what happens if you go in the minus for naval prestige. I think you're gonna lose your job. But this one, though, plus 2.5% budget. And a bunch of money. And some naval prestige. Minus 10% naval budget. But my plus 1.7% GDP. Ooh. Minus 10% for plus 1.75. Let's see what happens to the monthly balance as I do that. Oof, yeah, no, that was not a good idea. Why is it minus 10 and plus 1.75? I mean, in the long run, it might work out for the better, because GDP is the more important number. See if we can get that naval budget back with a couple of events. Getting some naval funds, though, is a good idea. Plus 0.5 GDP. Or I can get plus 2.5% naval budget and 3.6 million. Cash. Yes, thank you. But the United States is provoking me. United States is probably not a nation I want to fight early on. Them and Britain. Probably best to not mess with. But I can mess with the other minor nations. Like the Netherlands, who don't even have battleships. Same with Scandinavia. I think that's... Yeah, that's because that was the same with my Norwegian campaign. At the start, my max shipyard size was not big enough to build any of the battleships. Is that the case with Italy as well, or did they just, for some reason, not build any? I only have my torpedo boats in active service currently. Everything else is, well, not mothballed, but basically mothballed. Let's bring that to, like, so. That bumps the research up a little bit. Armor quality in 36 months. 9 guns in a year. And there's that new battleship, but my shipyard isn't ready yet. So no point in looking at that just yet. You can probably build some more boats though. Let's go one more month and then order another battleship. Oof, that's expensive though, but yeah, put that in Constantinople. Means I need to adjust my my finances again. Instead of +6, we can go +4% on the transport slider. Probably go a little bit more than that, like 4.3. There we go. Good enough. We get gun cotton, which is nice if you want to make your ship more explodey. I typically skip that upgrade and just stick with black powder and brown powder. Until I get explosives that are actually less like susceptible to blow your ship up. You want to blow up the enemy, not yourself. There we go. Gradually increase the sliders. This one, by the way, we're gonna make sure it's set to limited when it's launched. And then we're gonna build a couple more of these armored cruisers. In, I guess, a couple of months, as the economy keeps growing. That way they will hopefully be ready for when the Mark II 9-inch guns are ready. So they can get that refit almost immediately after launching. Yeah, we're good now. And we're going to be at 200% very soon, and then we can just bump this slider way down to something like +0.5% or something. Because you can't keep growing your transport fleet after reaching 200%. That's the maximum. Got rangefinders. That is good. And this one is almost finished, which is even greater. If I can get something... Why are they so keen on provoking me? Max out the research slider. 6 months for the Mark II 9-inch guns. Better than expected. We're on average technology at the moment, but I think we're gonna end up on behind pretty soon. Not just because I'm using two of my priorities, but because the bigger economies are just gonna start pulling ahead. Like Britain. Yeah, there's a pretty big difference in GDP here. No more events to increase my monthly balance, but it just got bumped up because the shipyard was finished. Let's do a full 24 month for 4.4 thousand tons. See, what is it now? 12.1? With 4.4, that's going to be 16.5. Yeah, that means we can build some proper, decent battleships. Means I gotta start reducing this stuff again, though. At least until I can get an event that gives me plus naval budget. And that was quite a bit more expensive than the first shipyard expansion. Now, let's order up a couple more of these. I want 2 more in Constantinople. Yeah, that murders my monthly balance, doesn't it? So, sliders will have to be sacrificed. Temporarily. Now, once the... I do kind of want to have this prioritized. Like, constantly. Because this is so important to get. But now that the guns are split over 5 different tech tree branches, I'm not sure what to do. It might actually... yeah, I'm not sure. It's like very different from what I'm used to. I'm liking it though. It's a good change. Can go one more turn just to see if we get... yeah, there we go. An event. Military awareness is spreading across the world. The government wishes to demonstrate our power by conducting naval exercises close to the Kingdom of the Netherlands waters. Well, first of all, none of our ships have the range to make it out of the Mediterranean, so that's not a good idea. This is basically the go to war with the Netherlands option. Minus 95, and we're already on minus 20 or something. Minus 50 naval prestige. It's gonna put me in negative. I can do the minus 10. In British Empire, there is a political turmoil. The Prime Minister asks how to react. Support the anarchists. Aid pacification with diplomatic means. Help British Empire in suppressing the insurgency. I mean, minus 1.3 million, I can take that hit. United States and Spain. And it seems I'm siding with the US. Especially as Spain is provoking me. We're at minus 35 with Spain, minus 39 with the Netherlands. So, probably gonna be a war with one of them soon. Let's slowly bump this up. When this reaches 200%, I can gradually just bump this down to like here. Just so it's barely positive. But I needed to actually reach 200% first. Come on, there we go. Which it will, in time, but yeah. 2 months for the 9-inch guns. We can untick that just for now. Make everything else go a little bit faster. 4,500 ton heavy cruiser. That's neat. But for now, I'm just gonna keep clicking through some turns and try and get something happening. And I will bring you back when we go to war with someone. Until then, goodbye and take care.